what is up? I'm back, just as I promised 2 hours ago when I said, hey, I was going to come back for the second part 2 of the Arm Talk. This time I have yet another 2022 national champ, and her name is Sarah Collins-McKinney. Sarah, how are you doing tonight?
I am fabulous, Jody. How are you?
I'm doing real good, and I figured, after a weekend that, saw some upsets, and a weekend that saw some people being crowned champions, I say, you know what? Let me hop on here and get 2 of those first place winners on the show. And I didn't want to make it. I had to rush because I'm thinking if I don't get these gentlemen and these ladies on the show, then someone's going to beat me to it. So I had to get at you. I was like, Sarah, do you have time out of your busy schedule to conduct an interview fresh off your first ever national champion?
I got time.
So take us back. I mean, what was the moment like? Because I've never won a national, so I don't really know how that feels. I can only imagine. But this was your first time going to nationals, and you come out on top. Is it not?
It is. It was my first national event to attend. Normally, my son's birthday was June the 25th, actually, and it's always been on June 25th. So I've never been able to go. Well, I was a bad mom this year, and we pushed his birthday party back. So I could attend nationals this year, and I really wanted to see how I could do, and I wish there was more ladies that were there, but I'm happy with the outcome. Definitely different, and I'm looking forward to the next event for nationals.
Nice. Well, Candy Passmore want to say, hey, lady, congrats.
Thank you, Candy. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you soon.
But tell me, there's a lot of buzz going on in Texas these days. So let's get everybody caught up. Now you got qualifiers, right? You got the Northern Region qualifiers, Southern Region qualifiers, Central Region qualifier. All that culminates in the Texas State Championships later on this year. You had the IFA Nationals in Irving, Texas. And then next month, July 16th, if you will, Dallas, Texas, another big event. Do you plan on being a part of that, yes or no?
I'm the host city director for that. That is locked and loaded, Garage to Fitness with Greg Sharp, and nobody wants to miss that event. If you're in Dallas, if you can be there, don't miss that event. July 16th, it'll be at the Thirsty Armadillo, and that is going to be epic.
Nice. Wayne Withers, fellow national champions in the house. What's up, Wayne? Robin Chandler says hi.
Hi, Robin.
So tell us more. What is your part as far as that? Because I think this is going to be the first of 4 events that they're going to be put on by Greg Sharp, and it's going to manifest itself in San Diego, California, I believe, for the championships. So what part are you playing?
So Greg had reached out to the Texas Arm Wrestling League with this event. So me being in the Dallas area, I was put into place to kind of put the crew together, locate the venue. Initially, it was going to be at Boomer Jack's, but after we had our central event at Boomer Jack's, realized how hot it was, and you add in the July heat, it was like, okay, we're going to bring this inside. So it got moved to the Thirsty Armadillo. Been putting the refs together, just kind of coordinating and getting everything together for the event. When I am at the event, I'll be running the brackets with the Corey Miller bracket system, as the TAL uses, and trying to knock this out. So it's going to be exciting. I am looking forward to it. Going to be a lot of competition there and a lot of great things happening. Greg Sharp's doing very good things for the sport.
Luke Polster just chimed in. Luke, how you doing, man? How you doing? Tell people out there, because Texas, the moniker was always everything is bigger in Texas, right? To where the Texas Arm Wrestling League, that thing is so big that you really don't have to travel a whole lot to get everything you want or everything you need in this sport. Is that about an accurate statement?
That's accurate. I did a lot of traveling last year. This year, I kind of scaled it back a little bit, cut down the traveling. But the farthest I've traveled was for our Lubbock event. Lubbock's about 5 hours from Dallas, maybe 6. I don't really remember. But that's the furthest that I've traveled. For the most part, I've hit a lot of the events in this area. And August 20th, we'll have our Southern in San Antonio at the Well.
Right.
And then Texas State's going to be in Port Arthur September the 24th. I'll be going to those.
And it's always nice. The thing about the national that took place in Irvine, the good thing about that is that you were able to go to that event and not have anything to do with any kind of setting up. You were there as a competitor and as a spectator, and one might say, you know what, it's kind of a breath of fresh air where you don't have to worry about being a director. You don't have to worry about brackets or registration, all that kind of stuff. Yes?
No. That was the first event in probably 2 years
Right.
that I went to that I was not working. And I was bored out of my mind. I forgot what it was like to sit through an arm wrestling event and not be doing something, because I'm so used to running brackets, doing registration, just something. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do? I don't know what to do.
Right.
So it was very different. I got to focus more. I will get that. You know, when I'm working an event, it's very hard to focus on running the tournament and pulling. So I really got to focus in on just arm wrestling.
Right.
But it's been a long time since I've sat around and did nothing at an event. So it's very different.
So here's the thing. I got to ask this question because I think, and I could be wrong, and if I'm out of line, by all means say so. I see a rivalry in the making, right? Not too long ago, you had a super match with one Elizabeth, yes?
I did.
And it just so happens that you had to beat her to get that national title, yes?
Yes.
Where do you go from here now? Where does that rivalry go from here?
So I don't think a rivalry is, I don't know that you call it rivalry or not. You know, there was a lot of drama behind that. There was a lot of hype behind that. You know, everybody knows drama and hype's good for the sport. It's not really my thing.
Right.
But it is what it is. You know, what happened. She and I had a very good conversation, you know, at nationals. She's an amazing puller, very strong. She's going to be very, very good puller. You know, she's got a long way to go and a lot to learn. She's only been in like maybe 9-10 months, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but right. I think she'll be very good and go very far in the sport. Nothing bad to say about the girl. But it's been fun pulling her. It's been a long time, and this is not saying anything bad about anybody in Texas, of course. I don't want it to be portrayed that way, but it's been a long time since I got to battle with somebody in Texas on the table, and I enjoyed it. You know, I love the competition side of it.
Right.
So it's been a lot of fun, you know, take out the drama side, but I enjoyed it. And we're close. I think she's in Waco. She's not too far from me. We attend a lot of the same events. So I'm sure we'll be back on the table soon. And, you know, it's like I'll win left, she'll win right. And then nationals, I won right and she won left. And we just keep going back and forth with it. So it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
There you go. All right, Sarah, here we go. Question number 1 from Robin Chandler. Sarah, do you plan on going to Arnold's?
I do plan on going to Arnold's. Yes, that is something. I believe it's in March. I've got all the paperwork, and it gives me plenty of time to plan travel and get daycare and dog sitters and all of that. So I do plan on being there. I've never been to Arnold's, so I look forward to attending that event.
I went there 2019. I'm telling you, it was one of the best experiences I've had in a long time. So, you know, if you're going to go there, just take it all in, right? Take it all in. So that would be my advice to you. Just take it all in. There's going to be so many athletes there and, you know, that kind of thing. Question number 2, Mr. Wayne Withers wants to know, because he was on my show earlier this afternoon. He said his ticket's already booked. Mrs. Sarah Collins-McKinney, is your ticket booked? Do you plan on going?
To Arnold's, yes. It is not booked yet, though.
No. He meant, are you going to Worlds?
Oh, Worlds. So right now there's some that I can't discuss, you know, live and tell the world yet.
Gotcha.
There's some life-changing things going on in my life that once all of this is finalized, I will know better if I can attend Worlds or not. It's not booked yet. And I won't know for sure for about another month if I'm going to be able to go. It's unfortunate, but life-changing, good things happening, nothing bad.
Right.
So,
well, good Lord, Sarah, don't we all have life-changing things that we can't talk about? Wink, wink.
well, it's more personal. It doesn't pertain to arm wrestling whatsoever. So
right.
Once I get all that nailed down, I will know more if I will be able to make that event. I don't think I'm ready for Worlds. If I'm being 100% honest, I've been in the sport as long as I have, but never trained and focused, and I still got a long way to grow. Like I got my ass handed to me by Martha Swick and then Christina Casto. Like I have really got to get better, learn better technique in arm wrestling, get stronger before I even attempt to go around the world. Although Paris, France, nice little mini vacation. So
yeah.
I need to go get me a few more Louis Vuitton purses, and they're so much cheaper there.
Man, like I said, just when I told my wife, I was like, "Oh, babe, guess where IFA?" And this was like off the heels of last year's IFA Worlds in Florida. I said, "Hey, babe, guess where next year's Worlds is?" She goes, "Where?" I was like, "Right outside of Paris, France." She goes, well, "Let's get your ass there." So I was all about it, but like I said, there was so much going on that I couldn't attend nationals this year, so I can go on to qualify for that. There was so much I had going on, so I'm gonna have to say, hey. We'll have to wait till next year and see where it goes. But you do have a compliment from one Candy Passmore. She says Sarah has been the strongest woman I've ever pulled, and she knows technique and known for her strength. So never, ever short yourself, by the way.
Gotta give a shout out to that girl. I love that girl. I have not seen her since Georgia. She and I need to get together again. A lot of fun. Very, very hospitable.
Yeah, you got fans.
Look forward to seeing them again.
But now here's the question of all questions. So now, normally, then when someone wins a national title or a world title or something significant, this is where doors open, windows open, hell, for all, and maybe a refrigerator might open. Opportunity will come its way at some time. So I'm assuming at some point down the road, you're going to be getting some phone calls for some matches. Would you be willing to accept some of those?
I have said it before, and I will say it again. I'm down to pull anybody, anywhere. I love the sport. And if I sit here and say, well, I don't want to pull this person because of this reason or that reason, it's never going to get me better. I believe the more hands you touch, the better you're going to improve. The more people you pull, the more people you practice with. So win or lose, I'm down to pull and go and have fun. This is a hobby for me. I really, truly enjoy it. I really, truly believe in building the sport for the women. That's kind of where I've been, my focus has been. So any match, anytime, win or lose, I'm down.
And see, when you have friends in this community, as I have friends in this chat room, and then someone's like reading my mind. So yes, Candy, I'm going to ask that. I was just about to ask a question. You beat me to it. So Candy says, who do you want to pull next? And that is the question, because now, and you got to realize, once you get to that higher upper echelon, now you're going to have people coming at you, right? And then you got to be, and you're like the hunted in a sense. So I guess, hopefully I explained that right, Candy. But who do you want to pull next?
I will say, honestly, I don't know. Obviously, Lee Aaron is a good friend of mine. Badass puller, strong on the table, lightweight girl that beats up on everybody. Like guys, girls, like she's dominant.
Look,
I wouldn't say that's who I want to pull next, but I would like to be able to get to that level to where I can compete and eventually beat her. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm there yet. I don't know.
I tell you what, I seen her kick the hell out of some dudes this spring. I was in Arizona, and of course she pulled her class, but she pulled the amateur guys class and was putting the boots to him, and I'm like going,
I saw that. She's badass. I'm telling you, she is a badass.
Man, I was like, okay. And then and she has a big match coming up in December too at Washington State, so she'd be that one because she has been on the WAF World stage before, so she knows what it takes to get the job done. knowing that, and she's very explosive. I think we all know that. But I know that the All Ladies Texas tournament y'all had the last couple of years, I think she's attended there. So you kind of know where everybody sits. Is there going to be another All Ladies Texas tournament this year?
It's being worked out now. I just made a recent post that the dates tentatively. Now, obviously, things can change because I am planning this very much in advance.
Right.
But it will be at the same venue last year. And oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on what the name was. Holy shit, how am I drawing a blank on the name?
It's okay. It's not the Gnarly Gar, so it's all right.
I think Northside Draft House. God, I'm losing my mind today. April 22nd, 2023. Mm-hmm. Same venue. That is the tentative date. And I've put that post out there to give ladies plenty of time to make travel plans. There's no host hotel yet, as it's too early to get that set. Right. Eventually there will be. But I want as many ladies to have time to plan. Obviously, we're getting pretty good turnout for it. I believe for last year, payouts are expected to be the same. $500 for first place. Now, I am going to attempt to get second at $250, third at $100, but we all know this will depend on sponsorship.
Right.
And it's too early to tell on that. But it is the largest payout for women. I think it pays out. I think somebody... Again, I've never been to Arnold's. I don't know what the payout is, but they said it was as much or maybe more than what Arnold's pays out for women. So it's still the goal. I just hope to have a really good turnout, and hoping if I get it out there early enough, it will give them time to plan.
Well, here's the thing with that. Just to piggyback on your statement about the ladies' classes at the Arnold. There's money out there. It's just that they need to show up. You know, so the problem is the money's out there. It's like going, okay, whether you have, 12 women in that one class, or in that one particular class, or you have 3, the money stays the same. So it's like we just need ladies to show up. And I think now we got this influx of lady arm wrestlers in Utah. We got them in Idaho. So and hopefully they'll start making that journey. And so, hey, ladies only, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be happening. All right. Robin Chandler says, Steffi Spencer, $500 send me. I don't know what that means, Robin. Rephrase that question or statement, Robin. That way it was kind of jumbled. But yes, there's some money to be had. And I like what you were doing the last couple of years, And I was like, let me go check out this video and stuff. And I think I want to say Billy Ortega's filmed one of them one year. Did he not?
Yeah, they were both. There should be footage from both years.
Okay.
He did both films and put out footage for him.
Yes. Because you had Leanne. She was there. You had Danielle.
Leanne won it all weight classes. So the first year we had 3 left and right. She won it all. Second year we had 4 weight classes left and right. She won it all. So she's coming in and taking all my money. I gotta stop this next year. Like my goal is to stop that next year.
Yeah, well, the thing is though, now this became the Leanne Wilson Invitational apparently. So, Robin,
no, she does good. She earned every bit of it. I'm just teasing, but she earned every bit of it. That girl trains hard.
Oh, Robin Chandler. Okay, now she rephrased that. Don't you love autocorrect? Robin says she will sponsor $500.
Robin, you are freaking amazing. I appreciate it very much.
And if anybody,
one first place payout.
And Robin knows that because Robin, she's been around, multi-time national champion,
world champion.
Yeah, world champion. I think she and Robin. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think she won Nemiroff one year too. I don't want to make that up. I could have swore she went to Nemiroff and she won. Maybe she didn't. I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, great job, Robin. She's going to sponsor $500. If we can get Lori Cole on here and get some things going. And I tell you what,
Lori Cole's been a sponsor every year.
Good.
Both years, Lori Cole has sponsored, so she is already on board. She has really helped guide and give me some ideas when I have questions. She's been around the sport a really long time. She's kind of helped me brainstorm things. Lori Cole is amazing and has been very, very supportive of the All Ladies event.
And Wayne Withers said, Robin Chandler, I'll send my info too. So if you want, and I'll have my part, you just let me know the flyer. I know, like I said, there's some badass pullers in Utah area. I'll let the ladies know and say, hey, check this out. You got nothing but time between now and then, come April, to get this thing going. So once you get a flyer made out, I'll go ahead and get them all going too, so they can get pumped up. Leanne's going to be there. She's going to walk out, red carpet and all, and so hopefully we can, have someone to stop her maybe, right? So
there's pullers out there, I'm sure, that would give Leanne a, good competition. I don't think there's a lot of, I think Ben posted something. I don't think there's a woman that's beat her in her weight class, like the 138, 140.
That's probably accurate.
Weight class. There's not a lot of pullers there, and the ones that are there, they have not beat Leanne. But I think there's other pullers out there that can give her a run for her money. We just need as many ladies to show up as possible, compete, have a good time. The ladies get the front center stage. Payouts, awards are good. Denise Waddles, I don't know if you've seen the medals from that ladies event last year, but Denise Waddles did the medals.
Man.
They were beautiful, and she will be doing the medals next year for us.
Got the ponytail and everything. I was digging that. Robin Chandler says, no, she took third at Nembroff, but the Macho Man's in the house. Macho Man says, we need Michelle Smart back.
I second that. Burn your back.
And like I said, a lot of times, and maybe it's more difficult, and I don't know, man, maybe you can shed some light on this. All the ladies in the chat that pull and got kids, here's a question. It may be a little bit more difficult for the moms out there who compete to come back after kids rather than the guys. Is that about true or false?
So I will say that the women of the sport that have kids, that are married, I'm sure the women are probably taking care of kids, trying to pull, trying to film their husbands. I've seen Candy do it 100 times. She's got a kid on her hip, filming Paul, trying to compete and just running all over the place. So
that's why she's a badass.
She is a badass. It can be done. Yes, I think it's more difficult. But I do think it can be done. And I think I wouldn't say the men of the sport. I would say the men of the lady pullers that they're married to,
right.
Maybe need to show the same support, for the all ladies event, or if they want to get more, deep into it. Not saying they don't, but just, in general, if they're trying to get into it, just be as supportive and try to boost them as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a good, like I said, when you first came out with the first edition of that, I was like, this is what we need. And I told myself, and I was telling you that, it can only get bigger and bigger. I know COVID might have threw a monkey wrench and kind of said, okay, you're screwing things up. But nonetheless, I think now we're getting back on track now. Do you think, and I'm asking, this is from a lady's perspective, because even though with the ladies, you're involved in that, you see what the guys are doing. So now that we're at a point in arm wrestling where, hey, it's all about the super matches for the most part, do you think that for your event that you would showcase a couple super matches, maybe one super match, maybe two, in hopes that will draw more ladies to your event?
We did have super matches last year. Now, granted, they were Texas ranking matches. Right. I'm not opposed to having a big super match there. Maybe one, maybe, we'll see what happens and what's in the budget. Obviously, I support these elite pullers and the super matches, but I want to reserve those payouts and the money for those competitors. I want to keep what I started, the $500 first place payout, second place $250, third place $100. Last year, unfortunately, I couldn't do the second and third because I moved events from San Antonio to Dallas.
Yeah.
So it was a matter of getting all of that sponsorship and trying to get it done, and I wasn't able to get it done. But we are sitting in a very good position for next year with what I have done just since the ladies event to put us in a good position to have funds available already to go towards awards and things that we need to make that event run. So also I wanted to say for the ladies event, if ladies are wanting to bring their children or need assistance with taking care of their children, one thing I'm wanting to implement as this gets bigger is having someone there that can help with childcare, because I get it. Fortunately, I am lucky enough that My kid is not at the event. Not everybody is that fortunate. They have to bring their kids. So if somebody knows that they're going to have kids there and they're going to need help, reach out to me. I have a lot of connections here with it being in Dallas that I can get someone there to help with the kids. You know, a couple of trustworthy adults that can allow you to focus and pull and get ready for your match while you know your kids are taken care of.
That's awesome, because you don't hear that a lot. So I mean, it's awesome that you can actually kind of go out there and put that out there. So that's pretty cool. Hell, because it'd be kind of cool to see a Martha Swick at your event. It'd be cool to see a Mrs. Top Roll at your event. That'd be awesome. You know what I mean?
Hey, national champion Christina Casto plans to be there.
Nice.
She was my roommate for that weekend. We had a blast. She kicked my ass on the table. I threatened to lock her out of the house. You know, that kind of piece there. But we had a blast. So hopefully she's planning to be here for that event. She is a certified ref. I believe she's a senior certified ref now.
Yeah, she is. She just got announced.
She's going to be a lady ref at that event, and she's probably going to come kick my ass on the table again.
Well, but that's the thing, though, because now you know what it feels like, and now it's like, okay, I'm a national champ. So now I better start upping my game now. So, you know, yeah, she might have kicked your ass on the table, but it's what you take back from that. Okay, it's back to the drawing board. This is what happened when I lost. I'm going to make sure I, tighten that up, dot my I's, cross my T's, and relive that and make sure I get on top of that. Yes?
Yes. If you win every match, you never learn anything. You got to lose to learn. I truly believe that. You know, you can't win them all. And when you lose, I think it'll motivate you, and it teaches you how to be a better puller.
All right. Now, about taking matches, right? And, like I said, because once you're out there, upper echelon, I was, talking with Wayne earlier. Now he's out there. He's got Tim Bresnan, and he's going to the world. It's going to be a microscope on him. It's going to be a microscope for anybody that took first place in the Unified Nationals that took place in April. The Nationals that took place at IFA just last weekend. So challenges. And you and I talked about this because, as you know, I have an event coming up August 20th in Idaho. And it's somebody that's really not known, has little to no experience. It's been to a couple events, but that's about it. And you and I were talking, you were like, well, don't you need to not focus on him, but focus on somebody, much higher than that. And, and I sat there, the way I explained it to you, went, oh yeah, I didn't think about it that way. So super matches for you. Do you seek certain people out? Do they seek you out? How does that work with you?
So as far as matches go, like who I want to pull, or I guess I didn't understand your question, or I was opening the back door and then my alarm went off. Say your question again.
Well, I was saying, as far as the super match aspect, do you seek them out, or they're already seeking you out? How does that whole thing start with you?
I don't think I've pulled a whole lot of super matches where I've actually went and looked for somebody. My first super match was for the Texas rankings. It was with Regine. So when I first come back in, and I made a challenge to go after the number one ranking for Texas.
Right.
God, it's so hard to remember. I had a super match with Candy Passmore that I kind of got, I believe Paul had a super match. She was coming in. It was going to be like, let's have a ladies super match. It's like, yeah, let's do it. It wasn't like I went looking for Candy. You know what I mean?
Oh, I remember that.
It happened that way.
That was that event where Paul pulled Lindley Keating, didn't he?
Lindley Keating, yeah.
I remember that event. Okay.
Yeah. And the one that I did make a call out was, recently with Elizabeth. She had, for whatever reason, in March, I'd lost that match. That's not to take anything away from her. She beat me on the table that day, and it was like, oh, all right, let's do this. Interesting. So, I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to know, what did I do wrong on that table? Was it me running the event? Was I distracted? What was it? Why did I lose?
Right.
How do I get better? So I made the call out for the rankings match, and took place in May 21st.
Right.
So we had a battle on the table then, and then we battled it out at nationals. And I think she and I have battled it out quite a bit lately. We're going to take a break from battling it out.
Well, you know what? This is how rivals, become what they are. She's beaten you. You've beaten her at a rankings event on a national stage. It's just meant to be. There's nothing wrong with that. And Candy Passmore says the PAF in Georgia will be on July 16th, just so everybody knows there. But it's one it happens. If it happens, then it needs to happen. That's just the way it is sometimes.
I enjoy the battles. I enjoy the competition. I don't enjoy, any of the drama, but I think that's behind us now.
Right.
I think it's, the initial whatever it was. It is what it is. It happened. It can't be taken back. But we move forward from here, and we continue to, be good sportsmanship, and continue to grow the sport of the women. Just keep moving forward. So
awesome.
I'm looking forward to this year. I think we're going to have an amazing Texas State. Texas State, I believe, falls on Worlds. So depending on how my situation goes of these life-changing things,
right,
I'm going to have to make a decision on that. So we shall see what the future holds.
Right. So take us back to your training leading up to nationals, because we all need to train year round. There is no seasons per se. I mean, some people kind of taper off come fall because, hey, it's wintertime, it's Thanksgiving and Halloween and Christmases. We want to spend more time with the family. Then after that, the first of the year, we start ramping up again. But for all intents and purposes, it's a year-round sport. Now, yes, you train year-round, but for certain events, you kind of ramp up the training. So with you, was training ramped up, or was it normal? Getting ready for nationals? How did that look?
Training was ramped up for the super match May 21st, as that took place prior to nationals.
Right.
So training was really ramped up. I have to give a huge shout out to Anthony Lowe. That's been a coach of mine that has really kind of helped develop me on the table a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
In my pulling style, as I'm still trying to figure that out.
Right.
I was pressing, and then I got away from that because it's so freaking painful. And I'm adjusting to the, top rolling and still trying to get my form down on exactly what he's saying. I'll perfect it one match, and then I won't do it again. It's like I mess it up completely. So it's still a work in progress. But a shout out to him. He's done a lot to help me. Even you, Jody, you've sent me a lot of exercises as far as training goes that I've really, really taken and watched and perfected and started implementing. As far as after the May 21st, training was, just the same, ramped up, getting ready for nationals. I think I took more time off.
Yeah.
Before nationals, I took a whole 12 days. It was 12, 14 days. I don't remember. It's 12 or 14 where I didn't do anything. And it's really taken me a minute to get back in the swing of things as far as working out, just taking that much time off,
right,
and then trying to get back into the swing of things. It's been a process. I've been lazy lately, if I'm being honest. I did my first good workout yesterday.
Now, tell everybody out there, because I think you and I we talk on the phone a lot, but we've talked to where you don't have a team to train with, where some people do. So do you think that's a advantage or a disadvantage in your
That's definitely an advantage.
Okay.
I am way the hell out in BFE,
right,
to where I have to drive a good ways to practice. And I'm a mom, I work full time. I mean, I have a lot of things going on, childcare, the times that the practices are at. It's, I can't just be there and keep my kid up late, or have a sitter at all times. So it's definitely a disadvantage. I'm hoping to change that. I'm hoping to make some improvements there to see how I can advance my training and getting more involved in training with a team.
Right.
But it's still a process. Having a little one that is in soccer and baseball and, basketball and the sports that he is in at a young age, I still, I don't want to miss out on that either. Arm wrestling's a hobby. It's not, I don't eat, sleep, and breathe arm wrestling. My kid obviously comes first.
Right.
So I'm just going to do the best I can with the time that I have, train the best that I can with the time that I have, and keep trying to build the women of the sport and just keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't.
No, and that's awesome. And I like how you put that, it's a hobby. some people think it's more than a hobby, which that might be good for them, and maybe there's always the way you can look at the glass half full, right? And what I mean by that is that if one is training by themselves, you can, like Wayne and I was on the show earlier, he was talking about just the constant, in the gym training, not so much on the table, where in your situation, you can go, hey, I'm going to put so much time and effort in the gym. Then when I do get the opportunity to be on the table with somebody, then I can gauge myself and say, hey, now is what I'm doing training wise, is it actually working for me on the table? Do you think there's any carryover to that?
No, absolutely. See, for me, I like finding, everybody trains all year long. We're supposed to train all year long, but obviously some of us don't. Right. I like picking a goal. So my next goal is going to be Texas State, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be attending events in between. I don't know if I'm going to be pulling these next events that I'm attending, as I'm going to be working them. And I really need to focus on working the events, not pulling. But my next goal is Texas State. So I'll pick a goal, at what I want to do, nationals or the super match I just had, and work towards that. So I'll have these, month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is, wherever my goal is at, to really focus on what I want to do, training, practice, and give it my all, and then take a break.
Right.
Enjoy family time and, focus on what my son needs to do. I tend to pull a lot of matches around May.
Right.
As I see on my Facebook memories, all my super matches happen like May.
I noticed that.
My kid's out of school, that he don't have, soccer, basketball, football, whatever sport he is in, whatever he's doing, I can really focus on that.
Right.
So it just, I try to build it around that and pick a goal and train for that and then go from there. And that's kind of what works for me.
And I totally get that because, like in juggling around family time. So what you do is that, like, our guys, we train every Saturday morning at my place, which is headquarters, and we spend that 2 to 2.5 hour block is nothing but arm wrestling. Nothing, and that's it. Now, once we leave, then we leave everything at the table in my garage, or whatever the case may be. And there's a reason why we train at 10 o'clock in the morning, because a lot of us are family men and got families and stuff. So, we want to say, hey, I'm going to take time out. Just give me a couple hours in the morning. So by the time noon 30 hits, I'm done for the day, and we got the rest of the weekend to do whatever. So I guess it does benefit us, So that's why we practice so early in the morning on Saturdays.
That's a good time to practice. It gets everything done, and you still have time for family. And
right.
Eventually, I want to get to where I can attend practices, weekly. But I'm just not there yet. My son is still little, and he's got a lot of stuff going on with school and really involved in sports, and that means a lot to me. And
yeah,
I don't want to miss out on that. So like I said, this is a hobby, and I enjoy it. And I'm going to put everything I have into it, but it's not number one for me. It's something I do on the side as for fun.
Candy Passmore says, I got all you guys beat. Mrs. Rose will be at our practice Saturday. I'm assuming Angie Rose. I'm assuming she's talking to Angie Rose. And I'm telling you, if she rolls up to your event, all hell's gonna break loose. Because then
all hell's gonna break loose.
Yeah.
I think she would have wanted to attend, or she and I spoke briefly on it with a ladies event, but I believe there was matches in Instable as that was going on. I'm hoping she can make one of the events in the future. Would love to have her there, just as many ladies as possible. I think it's once a year. I mean, if I could do it more, I would.
Right.
And depending on the turnout, depending on possibly moving it, different states, have one in Texas, have one on the East Coast, West Coast, eventually it will get there. It's got to build, and it's got to, obviously, sponsorships, I've got to get connected on the East Coast and West Coast and,
right.
have help there. So, but it's definitely in the making. It's only the third one that's coming up. So hopefully we'll get there and get it in multiple states. But I do think it's a good thing for the ladies.
No doubt. It's good. And yes, Ron Bath will be there too. So of course, but no, it's good to have that. And, when you put on an event, it's easy for the outsider. What I mean by that is that it's easy for someone to come to an event. And depending on who that person is, sometimes, if you're on the other side of the fence, as far as you're in charge of putting on the event, you're in charge of now getting a venue, getting sponsors, making sure you got somebody to do the brackets, registrations, early weigh-ins, all that kind of stuff. And now I done this for, and I've done the wall qualifiers, but that was pretty much done for me for the most part. So that wasn't too hard to do. But when you do the last two tournaments, like we've done for the LOD, all the hard work that goes in, it's not easy. And then if you plan on competing, then your mind's elsewhere because you're looking at, okay, I'm going to help referee this thing. I'm going to help try to, get this thing off the ground. And then when it's time to compete, if you compete, then your brain is not there. You know what I mean?
True. I have a whole new respect for the promoters of the sport because before I was just, coming in and pulling. I become a director in, I believe, November of 2020.
Yeah.
Not quite sure on the date. I'd have to go back and look. Still didn't know what I was doing when I jumped into it, but I've kind of evolved and just have a new respect for what the promoters do. It's not easy. It's very stressful. Things go wrong. Nothing ever runs perfectly. You do your best to start on time. It's not going to happen. Problems arise that are unexpected. So you kind of got to go roll with it. And as far as competing at those events you're running, I'm slowly learning that. It's like, Central. I really beat myself up on Central. We started very late, and that was on me, and it was 100% on me. I had a super match that day, and I was focused on that super match. I was not focused on everything else. So by the time the super match was over, your adrenaline's so high, you've got to do all this stuff coming off that super match. You got to go, 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 go. And yeah, it didn't start as quickly as it needed to. So that definitely taught me something to where running an event and having a super match or pulling the event, I've really got to take a step back and focus on running the event more so than pulling. Pick the events, different events that you're not running to pull. But the events that I'm running, I am not going to be competing at. With the exception of the ladies event, I will definitely have more help. I've got lots of things in the works to make that event run flawlessly. Obviously, the more events you put on, the more you learn, the more experience you gain, and definitely going to have a lot of people there to help that event run better, so I can compete and be focused as well.
Hell, I've been scaled back. So last year, our first ever, LOD Foundation tournament, I did the super match. I did the actual, I pulled 2 classes, also helping put this thing together and referee. And I told myself I spread myself way too thin. So this year it was more like, okay, I'm just going to do the super match. I'm not going to do the tournament, because it's just way too much. And even next year, I'll probably just kick back, help run the tournament, make sure it's a success, and kind of just, not even compete, even though you want to, all your friends are there, but sometimes you got to go, you know what, I will sack it. And I'm at a point now where, some of the events I would normally pull at, we all know, because I'm a certified ref too, we all know that, hey, without referees, there's no tournament. So if that means I will sacrifice and not pull in order to make sure we have refs, then I will do that, So that's where I'm at for the most part. So, and you get it, because it's like, hey, you want to do both, but to make everybody happy or to make myself happy, which one holds more water? You know what I mean?
That's right. It's really hard to do both. And I'm glad you say that, because I've beat myself up. You've been doing this a lot longer than I have as far as running both. And I was really beating myself up going, what is wrong with me? Why can't I do this? Why is it so difficult for me? What am I doing wrong?
Right.
So it's good to hear that it's not, just myself that struggles with that. Some other people do it flawlessly,
Right.
I don't know how. They're amazing people. But it's the mindset I've got to be in one or the other, and to try to be in both. My brain's scrambled.
Well, look at Arm Wrestling Uncensored in the chat. Arm Wrestling Uncensored said, did the MC live stream event and super match this past Sunday was way too much for one person and learned a lot. And yes, I mean, in your mind, it sounds like, oh, I can do this, do that, everything will work out. Until you actually do that, it's like, oh crap, because I mean, honestly, we at my event, just to give you a brief rundown, we had 2 tables, but we only went 1 table at a time because I couldn't get the referees I wanted to have. They couldn't do it. I'm making all crap. So instead of having Leonard Harkless and myself or Pastor Mark man 1 table, and then somebody can do another one, where last year it went by quicker because we had 2 tables going at the same time, where this year we only had 1 table at a time. Denise Waddles was able to come last year. Well, she didn't make it this year. So my wife had to step in and do brackets, which she's done before, but it was like so long ago that, Leonard had to step away from the refereeing, except for the super matches, to help my wife with the brackets. So the tournament kind of went longer than it should have. But again, if we had 2 key components, if we had Denise there, because she can run brackets by herself and not blink. If we had another ref, then our tournament would have been a lot more faster, I think. So it's always something to consider. You know what I mean?
Every event's different. There's always room for improvement. There's always unpredictable things that can happen, and it's part of it. You do the best you can and you run with it, and you learn from it and you get better after that.
Well, you know what my biggest fear was?
Certified ref, though, Jody.
What's that?
You're throwing that certified ref out there. I 100% expect you at the ladies' event April of 2023 as a referee.
Oh. Well, you know what? April 23rd. Well,
April 22nd, 2023. I may have said that wrong.
Oh, well, I don't have anything on the docket right now, so I may have to put that on my calendar. You have to keep me involved in all that,
Absolutely. You're going to be there as one of the referees.
I would love that. But you know what really stressed me out? I was kind of paranoid. So once the event was done, then I went from referee to like, okay, now I'm handing out awards, Then it was the cleanup aspect. My wife and I and the rest of the family and friends, we were helping clean up the event, in the ballroom. And then the one thing I was really stressed on is like, okay, you got the tables still on the stage. Everyone's after pulling. Not a big deal, right? But the issue, I was like trying to pick up chairs and I'm thinking, okay, nobody break their arm. Nobody break their arm. Nobody break their arm. As I'm like, helping everybody, pick up the place. And that was in the back of my mind, like, okay, please nobody get hurt, because sometimes you know how it is after pulling and, hey, we never met in the tournament. Let's just go in here. Let's just go out and see what happens. And there's no real referee. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying, right?
I do. And I can honestly say I'm fortunate for the team that we have with the Texas Arm Wrestling League. The group that we have, they pay attention to that, so there may be me and Billy cleaning up, right? Yeah. But Dustin's got his eyes on them tables. He's watching that, so I none of this would be possible without the group that is behind Texas Arm Wrestling League to make, especially the ladies event happen. So we really, really have a good crew together. I don't know who all was at LLD. But I can say it's definitely important because you're going to have to be cleaning up. But definitely have someone there, keep an eye out on those pullers to make sure they're pulling safe. You have to pull, get crazy, alcohol, it happens.
There's that too. Wasn't too much, but there was some alcohol there. Not that it was like there was nobody that got shit faced or anything. But still sometimes that liquid courage, you feel like you're invincible, but it was smart that everyone there kind of knew what they were doing. But still, you always have that thought in the back of your head because if something does happen, then that falls on my shoulders, on their property. Then it's like, well, crap, That's
right.
But you do sign a waiver saying, hey, if this happens, it's on me. But that waiver is for the actual tournament. You know what I mean? So.
Well, maybe we should start including the after pulls in those waivers. You just gave me an idea. Include the after pulls in those waivers.
Yeah, there's got to be a flaw, or not a flaw. There's got to be some kind of clause in that where you kind of go, okay, this means after pulling also, because normally when the tournament's all said and done, that's when the fun begins. Because then now we're having a good time. No one's stressed out because I don't have to win now. I just want to see, gauge my power against this person, that person. There's no extra stress,
No, that's true.
So, yes, Candy Password. She wants to be a referee. Cool. Arm Wrestling Censor says, great idea to leverage people who want to help. Volunteer about a PA system, volunteer refs, extra tables, etc. Yeah, so our team did a lot too because I had my table. My teammate brought his table. another teammate, I helped make the stage. I went to his house. We helped build a stage. He brought in the truck. So now we put the tables on top of the stage, and the tables are already drilled onto some plywood, which in turn, that plywood was drilled to the stage. So that way, people in the back, they were up high enough. They were 21 inches off the ground. So people in the back can actually see what was going on and not say, hey, excuse me, I can't see. So you saw none of that. So everyone kind of helped out. We had my wife, she's doing brackets. A couple of our good friends. My kids were doing concessions. We had even my mother-in-law helped out for a little bit. We had the raffles and all that kind of stuff. So it was a total team effort when it came to that. And there was no way that would have happened if we all didn't kind of pull our own weight. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It takes a good team behind you to pull these events off. And things happen, that we can't control. But either we'll start on time, it'll run late. Things happen.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think all the pullers are understandable of that. They enjoy the camaraderie. They enjoy being around everybody. The after pulls, everyone looks, forward to, and it's always a good time. That's one good thing about this sport is it's always fun. It really is. It's always fun.
They were asking me, hey, when's the next one? I said, all right, I got you. June 10th, 2023. I got you. So
I will be at that one.
Yes.
I now that you set that date, I have made my plans for that.
Nice. Awesome. That is so awesome. And then I'm telling you right now, because the ladies we got here, it'll be cool because now it's somebody from a different region. And now that's going to excite them. And, the fact that you're going to say that, I will put it out there. Because then all it takes is somebody from a different area to come. And all of a sudden, that might trigger, what am I doing next year at this time? All it takes is one person to say yes. That's all it takes.
No, I am booking it. I will be there. I've given you my word. Unless for some reason I'm sick, dying, my kids, something, I will be there.
Right. That is so awesome. I appreciate that. You hear that, Candy Passmore? Look at that. See that? But no, I that is so awesome that you could do that. And, it's awesome that you do a lot too. I mean, for the ladies, you got so much on your plate. You're like an Energizer bunny, because if you're not hanging out with your son at a sports practice and that kind of thing, doing the mom thing, you're involved in the sport, which is like, okay, what hat do I put on today? Do I put on the competitive hat? Do I put on a director hat? Whatever the case may be. You do jack of all trades. Well, I guess in your case, Janice of all trades. So I tip my hat to you. You do an awesome job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to give it my all. I ain't perfect by no means. So if an event don't run perfectly, I apologize in advance. But, we all do the best we can with it. And we're just trying to do the best we can and give a good event.
Well, sweet. Well, I'll tell you what, Sarah, I want to thank you for joining me. I know you got to get some sleep because you got to work in the morning. It was a pleasure to have you on the show and take a little bit of time to be a guest on the show again.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Been on your show a couple times. Anytime, Jody, you can call me.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to let you go for now, but we will keep in touch. And good luck to your training. I hope everything works out. But we'll talk soon before then, though.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Jody.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That was 2022 national champion Sarah Collins-McKinney doing big things. Ladies, all ladies event coming up next April 2023. She has the Texas State coming up in September. Hopefully she gets to go to Worlds. I'm telling you, as soon as anybody wins a significant title in this sport, opportunity will going to come. It's only a matter of time before she gets people knocking on her door and all that kind of stuff. So, hey, 53 minutes in, not a bad segment. This was the second of two that I had. I had Wayne Withers on earlier this afternoon. Go ahead and check it and rewatch it if you want. But everybody in chat, thank you. Wayne, Robin, Macho Man, Candy, Arm Wrestling Uncensored, everybody, thank you once again. And as always, I will see you